Swinging George III was the King of England. He one of them kind of cats was balling up a breeze all the time, you see what I mean? Because them caught was real pretty and the music was jumping, the juice was flying. And King George, Swinging George III, he kind of cat say, see the Duke of Liberty? Cat say, yeah. He said, give that cat a castle. He looked pretty good today in his new armor. He's shining up for the sun. I said, but you ain't a lot of castles, Swinging George. He said, build a cat one. What's the matter with you? He said, well, all right, solid. He was that way, you see what I mean? George wanted to have a good time, and he got swinging so hard and so solid and so wild and so stormy that it done run out of loot. And when he started to run out of loot, man, he started to look around somewhere here and said, I've got to get up some gold. So he called his minister cats in and said, what you going to do, George, Swinging? Swinging George said, well, there's only one thing to do. He said, them square colony cats over there, he said, he just knock a little tax on them cats. They ain't going to mind it. They don't know the score anyway. They're having a peaceful and prosperous life, the colony cats. You see, they're carrying on real cool and fine over there. They want to decide what should be taxed, and if they're going to put it down, they want to know what they're going to put it down on. So they laid a little say, no gold will show if we can't blow. That was the watchword, you see what I mean? And the stamp cats, hired by Swinging George, cut off because they didn't dig the drag the colony cats was putting on them. Now, there's a cat by the name of Sammy Adams. He was a real swinging cat. He was the kingpin in Massachusetts. He set up a meeting in New York City for all the colonies to protest. Well, put down this bad tax jazz. Didn't dig it no way. He said also arranged to have an underground Western Union going between the colony cats, you see what I mean? And there's a real swinging cat, a stud by the name of Pat Henry. He was a going man. He was down with it and couldn't quit it. He was a big shot from South Virginia. He said, Caesar had his Brutus, Charles the First done had his Cromwell, and George Swinging III must cool and not play the fool. Well, he got many kudos and bobbles for that bit. Now, there's another captain named Benny Franklin. He was a whaling cat. He was with it all the time. He went to England to protest because he's a cold cat, you know what I mean? Come on, be as strong as here. Here come Benny Franklin. Benny Franklin with it all the way. He was spattered out and had rings on the fingers and jumping and going. And he swung Philadelphia. He had the streets paved, and he lit them up, and he proved the Fuzz Horse and the Fire Cats, and founded the UP, and started the first library, and published the Penn Gazette, and Paul Richard's Almanac was filled with jazz like, if you're up with the early bright, your kite will fly right. Cool. Now, Benny Franklin, like I say, he had a lot to say, you know. He wailing all the time. He wanted to build some solid swing between England and America. And he went to Parliament every day to try to hit the cats to call off the stamps. Well, the British merchantmen, they was complaining, too, because business was bad. The American cats weren't buying nothing due to this, and Benny's put on. George let up, done rang the bell, called in the call, and repealed the tax. Now, when the cats in America done got hip to this, they flipped. They built bonfires, bells rang, flags went up, and everybody danced and got juice. Some time went by again, and George got salute. He's putting on Swinging George. You know, if you were Swinging King, you got to swing all he can't swing anyway, but George was swinging out as well. He done run short of loot. And he decided to stamp them cats again. He said, they're all right. They jumped solid that time, but they want to be cool this time. What I say, we just stamp a few things, you know what I mean, like the coffee and the tea, you know, make it cool on the cats. Well, when the cats heard about this, they jumped solely all over the place. There's riots and the red coats and the pink coats and all that jazz, and the American cats were laid out stiff and stark before Captain Preston of the British Royal Guards cooled the situation. Now, George, Swinging George III, he's got his ear to the wire. He hear about all this jazz. He decided to repeal the tax once more. He ain't going to tax them with the coffee, but he's going to put the stamp on the tea. Well, the colony cats are overjoyed, but they didn't dig the tea situation. Being all former English cats, they dug the tea, and they wouldn't buy or drink it because they wanted to put George down, stomping the tax on it. Now, the East Swinging India Company, who was handling through shipping the tea to America, was flipping because they couldn't push the tea onto the colony cats. Bankruptcy was in sight. The East India Company cut the price of tea, but the colony cats still refused the deal. The colony cats were flipping inside. They really dug the tea. They were wigging to the extent of going out into the country looking for a substitute. They found one. It consisted of a mixture of dried up leaves, raspberry bushes, and some ground up herbs. It came close, but they still pined for the mother tea. Now, the Peggy Stewart was among the many ships that left England, bound for America, with a cargo hold bulging with orange peacoat. When she arrived at Ann Abilene, M.D., a bunch of the studs held a meeting and decided that due to the tax that was still on the tea, they weren't going to allow the tea to land. And populace wigged hotter than that. They decided to burn the cargo and the ship. But before they got there, the owner of the ship, Mr. Anthony Stewart, the captain, was the captain. He got so real nervous and goofed off because he couldn't stick his head out of a porthole without some guy boom, whanging him with a gun. He got nervous and so upset and so unsettled and so shook. He done burned his own ship with the tea and all. But the Dartmouth, there's another ship. This George is swinging George. Like I say, he sent them ship left and right all the time, see what I mean? Arrived in Boston Harbor early Sunday, November the 28th, 1773. And 2 days later, the Eleanor and the Beaver arrived. That's two more swinging ships loaded with the tender leaf. Well, the English taxers refused to let the ships out until they dumped the cargoes. The colony cats tried every which way to send the ships back. As a final ultimatum, they gave the captain 20 days to split or else. But Sammy Adams, like I explained, a real hard-swinging cat, held a meeting at the end of these 20 days at Old South Church in Boston. He got up and he spoke 10 words, which were, "This meeting can do nothing more to save the country." Just as he finished, some cat in the rear of the church got up in his seat, blew across a red wing and B flat, and about 50 cats, boom, billy, boom, bum, billy, bum, billy, bum, bum, billy, bum, bum, all dressed up in grease paint and colors, got up and started jumping and swinging and whooping. And just then another cat jumping across the Boston Harbor. It's going to be a swinging teapot tonight. Then another cat hollers out, "Down to Joe Griffin's wall." Then 50 Indian studs cut off for the docks with the populace right behind them. They bolted the Dartmouth, the Eleanor, and the Beaver, and closed easy to rip open the hatches with their hatches. And these cats wailed for 3 hours, and in 3 hours they made 30,000 tea balls out of 300 chests of tea that cooled the issue. Now, you get hit with history and no cat can cross you, because I'm going to stay you all the way. Got it? Sorry.